Well, well, good afternoon, or is it evening? Well, it's Sunday, the 29th of December, 2024. Welcome to Rog Edwards TV. I'm Rog, or Roger, and this is a live stream wrap-up and review of 2024 for the channel, and a bit of a Q&A. Some of you have been kind enough to send me some questions, which I'll get to and which I'll answer very, very shortly. So thank you for joining. And what would be really good, so that I know who's here and I know who's on the stream, is if you would put a little hello down in the chat, say hi, give me a little wavy emoji or something like that. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're online with me, and I'll be able to say hello to you, able to give you a shout out, and involve you in the conversation. So what is this live stream about? Well, the title said it's a wrap up of 2024 and a bit of an update on the channel. So we're going to give you a little bit of an update on the channel, let people know where we'll be taking Rog Edwards TV next year. I've got a little bit of an update about Mrs. E. Mrs. E's been having a few knee problems recently, and things are getting better, so she might be able to appear in a few more videos next year. So as some people are dropping in now, so I've got Jeff says hello from Canada. Hi, Jeff. I hope the weather's nicer over there than it is here in Edinburgh. It's absolutely howling a gale, and I can actually hear rain battering against the window just over here. So hopefully the weather's nicer where you are. There's John Mackenzie is here as well. Hi, John. How are you doing? John's in the house. And Pascal Fintoni. Pascal, my good friend from down in Durham. Pascal is my co-host for a podcast which you've probably never heard of. It's called Two Geeks and a Marketing Podcast. A little bit different from Rog Vlog, but great to see you here. Pascal, hope the Lays Fintoni are fine. And Richard Turnbull, Richard from Newcastle, is in the house. Welcome, Richard. Thank you for joining this live feed. Do please say hello down in the comments. So what's all this about? First of all, as I said, we're going to give you a little bit of an update on the channel, what we're going to be doing next year in 2025. As I say, a little bit of an update on Mrs. E and her operation that she's just had. Going to do some shout outs, and I want to ask your advice on something that's been troubling me about the channel name. Probably doesn't matter to anybody, but it's something that's been on my mind. So I thought I would ask your advice, because you're the ones who are watching the channel and you're the ones who I would like to listen to. And then we're going to answer some questions that people have been kind enough to send me already. If you've got any further questions, if there's anything you want to know about the channel, if there's anything you want to know about the channel, how we produce the videos, how we edit the videos, how we promote the videos, do please put a question down in the chat and I'll answer it as best I can. Timon Rose is here. Timon is an avid train spotter, and we met, I think we met on the launch day of the tram extension down to New Haven, didn't we? Timon has fabulous photographs of trains from all over Scotland and the rest of the UK, and he's well worth looking out on Facebook because his photographs of trains are fantastic. Not just modern trains like the Class 800 Azumas, but steam trains, you name it. If there's a train that needs to be photographed, Timon will be there to photograph it. So first things first, let's have a little bit of an update about the channel. Aidan Wilson is in the house. Hi, how are you doing, Aidan? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Little bit of an update. We were absolutely delighted, Mrs. E and I. Recently, we passed, with your support, we passed 10,000 subscribers. Wow. I mean, that feels to me like a major milestone. So I took the precaution of getting myself a glass of beer, Estrella, and Cheers. Here's to you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Thank you for anything that you do to support the channel. Cheers. That's nice and ice cold. So I guess the next milestone will be 20,000. So let's see whether we can get to 20,000 subscribers before I do my 2025 wrap-up video at the end of 2025. Before we get there, if you have any suggestions as to what you would like to see on the channel, do please let me know. I mean, this is your channel as much as it is mine. I love getting out. I love making videos. I've got Pascal to thank for giving me that passion for getting out and filming. Pascal is actually a proper film director. He's actually made proper cinema films. I'm just a guy with a DJI Pocket 3 who wanders around the streets with the videos and wanders around hotels. Pascal's a real filmmaker, and he's really inspired me over the years to be a YouTuber. And yeah, thanks, Pascal, what an achievement. And Richard say I'm drinking on the job. Make no apology for drinking on the job, Richard. Cheers. Here we are again. So in 2025, obviously there's going to be a lot more travel. However, there's a caveat to that, which I will get to in a moment. I'm probably going to be Edinburgh bound for the first month, maybe 2 months of 2025. And I'll tell you why in a moment. But the big success for 2024 was the reviews that I've been doing of the former British Transport hotels. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know that those British Transport hotels were built in the late 1800s, in the early 1900s. All of them have got absolutely magnificent architecture on the outside. On the inside, most of them are really splendid. They often have sumptuous internal decorations. They often have gigantic central staircases, grand staircases, and often central atriums. And I've been absolutely fascinated to explore some of these hotels this year, and stay in those hotels as well. And we've had some great experiences. We've had some great breakfasts. We've had some interesting glasses of red wine over the time. And thank you, Pascal. Pascal says, Denise says she loves the reviews of the hotel. Thank you, Denise. I've done 10 so far. I probably won't be able to say which ones they are. The Grand Central in Glasgow, we've done the Millennium Hotel in Glasgow. So Glasgow's got 2 British Transport hotels. We did the one in Newcastle, that's a Royal Station Hotel, I think. We've done the Midland Hotel in Manchester, the Midland Hotel in Morecambe. We've done, what else have we done? We've done the Aberdeen Station Hotel. I've probably forgotten some of the others, but we've done 10. Oh yes, the Principal Hotel in York. Great hotel. And since we did the review, the Principal Hotel in York is now called the Milner York, and that's actually named after a very famous railway person who became a hero in World War II. So they're actually renaming the hotel as a tribute to somebody who saved a lot of lives in World War II. Inverness was one, of course. It was John Mackenzie says Inverness. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the Inverness Hotel. That was the one that had the fabulous Titanic staircase. In fact, it's the other way around, isn't it? It was the staircase in the Inverness Railway Hotel that inspired that Titanic hotel. Aidan Wilson says the Balmoral and the Cali will blow your channel budget. I'm going to get round to that in a moment, but something really interesting happened about the Cali just a couple of nights ago, which gives me a little bit of hope for Edinburgh. So more of the British Transport hotels coming your way in 2025. In fact, I've done 10, and believe it or not, there are still 24 of the British Transport hotels still to review. Now, as Aidan alludes to in that comment, we do have a little bit of an issue in that I've kind of done the cheap ones. Now, I have to say, the Glasgow, the first Glasgow, the Grand Central in Glasgow, was probably one of the cheapest of the British Transport hotels we've stayed in so far. But do you know what? It's definitely one of the best. In fact, that particular video has probably been the most popular video I've done on the channel. And all the feedback and all the comments that I've had during this series suggest that everybody thinks that the Glasgow Grand Central Hotel is the best. So it just goes to show that sometimes price isn't as important as the whole package. However, Stella says, thanks for all your great videos of the past year. All the best. And the same to you, Stella. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks for watching the videos. So as I've said, I've done 10, we've got 24 to go, but we're starting to get into expensive territory now. As Aidan said, the Balmoral Hotel in Edinburgh is one of the most famous British Transport hotels, and you are probably looking at a minimum of about 400 to 500 quid a night for the most basic room in the Balmoral Hotel. Same goes for London. There's the Renaissance Hotel at St Pancras. Now, some of those prices are eye-watering, starting at around £700 a night, even for the most basic room. There's also the Andaz Hotel, which used to be called the Great Western Hotel. That's near Liverpool Street Station. That is really expensive as well. So I do have a little bit of a problem in that some of them are extremely expensive, and unless I can really lucky and get a great deal, I'm not sure that we'll be ticking those off in the near future, unless of course I write a cheeky letter to the manager of the hotel and say, hey, I've been doing all these reviews of the British Transport hotels. Do you fancy comping me or giving me a reduced rate? But I might feel a little bit compromised if I did that. But you never know. You never know. If you don't ask, you don't get. Yeah, Reese's Trains. Reese's Trains is in the house. Hi, Reese. How you doing? It was great to meet you in person in Edinburgh in the summer. Check out Reese's channel. He just rides trains. He loves trains, and his videos are great. Yeah, some of those hotels are very, very expensive. Having said that, I watched a video of a guy staying at the Caledonian Hotel in Edinburgh. That's the hotel that used to be above Princes Street Station, which no longer exists now. And I was of the opinion that the Caledonian was just as expensive as the Balmoral, but actually it turns out that it's not. In fact, some of their cheapest rooms are in the 150 to 200 pound category. Now, that's still not cheap, but it's certainly an improvement on 700 quid or more. Two hotels that I probably won't get round to until the very end is Glen Eagles. You're talking about £1,000 a night to stay there, and Trump Turnberry, believe it or not, is also a former British Transport hotel, and that's in a similar sort of bracket. So watch out for more British Transport hotels next year, and let me know in the comments down below. Just let me know which you would like to see me stay in. And there's one in Sheffield we've not done. There's one in Derby. Obviously, there's all those ones in London. There's one as far north as the Kyle of Lochalsh. I always pronounce that wrong. There's another one just north of Aberdeen, just north of Inverness, actually, which the name has escaped me. So, yeah. I've just got a few more people popping on. Alan92 is here. Hi, Alan. Thanks so much. You're one of the people who comments on pretty much every video, so thanks very much for that. Grant McLean is here. Grant, thank you so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure to see your comments, and to your wife Louise as well. Oh, it's your wedding anniversary today, so yeah, happy anniversary to Grant and Louise. Have a great day. Hopefully you'll be having a glass of champagne or prosecco later on, but here's to you both. What I would also like to do in 2025 is a lot more exploration of some of the islands of Scotland. We already did the ferry across to the Isle of Arran. We did the ferry over to Rothsay. We did the ferry to I can't remember the name of it. Oh, forget it. It'll come back to me. I love those Calmac ferries. And you know what? Mrs. E and I have been watching a TV series called Shetland, which, believe it or not, has had 9 series, and we've never even heard of this TV series. So over the Christmas period, we've been utterly binge watching Shetland, and it's made me want to go to Shetland. So that's a potential trip for 2025. Get myself on a ferry from Aberdeen or a flight from Edinburgh up to Sunborough. That would be, yeah, Jeff says he loves Shetland. We are on season 6, I think we're on now. So that means we've got 3 more to go. So we've been utterly binging on it. Okay, so that's what's coming next year. But do remember, give me your suggestions. If there's anywhere you'd like us to visit, anywhere you'd like us to review, any particular hotels you like, give me the heads up and we'll see if we can get along there. Okay, here's a quick update on what's happened with Mrs. E. Now, she doesn't mind me telling you this, but you might have noticed she's not really been in that many videos over the last year to 18 months. Obviously, she was in the Lanzarote videos, but unfortunately, Mrs. E has had a bit of a knee problem for quite a while, and it makes walking really, really painful. Now, the good news is that on the day before Christmas Eve, that's Christmas Eve's Eve, she actually had a knee replacement operation, and the operation went really well, but she's now in recovery mode. And hopefully once she recovers, she'll be up and mobile and able to get out walking again. Now, the consequence of this is that I'm not going to be able to travel as much in the first month or 2 of next year. So a lot of the videos that we will be doing are going to be local, around the Edinburgh area, around East Lothian, maybe a little bit into the borders, maybe a little bit over to Glasgow. Got a few more people coming in here. We've got Fran from Buenos Aires. Thank you so much, Fran, for tuning in. Nice to see you. How are you doing? And Steve Marsh is in the house. Or he's not in the house, actually. No, Steve says, sorry, I'm not at home at the moment. I will need to watch this later. Steve, thank you so much. You are always one of the people who comments first on my videos, and I really, really do appreciate that, Steve. Really do appreciate that. My goodness, have you had some adventures this year? All those ferry trips and wandering around places that I've never ever heard of, and you always manage to find a great harbour. Aidan says, wishing Mrs. E a speedy recovery. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. So now I come to the advice that I want you to give me. And do you know what? This probably really doesn't matter, but I'm going to ask anyway. When I first started a YouTube channel back in, it was about 2016, I was very much into my marketing job. I was traveling all around Europe doing speeches at conferences, had a lot of consultancy clients that led to quite a lot of travel. And the great thing is that clients were paying for a lot of that travel. And I had this idea of coming up with RogEdwardsTV. Now, the reason for the name of the channel, RogEdwardsTV, is I imagined it would have a number of programs within it. So RogVlog, which is my travel part of the vlog, was one of 3 programs which I thought I would make. So RogVlog was all about travel, hotel reviews, etc. Then there was another segment called Marketing Made Simple, which was more about my day job, and I was giving people marketing tips on how to put marketing campaigns together, how to draft marketing campaigns, but how to keep it simple. And then the third type of program was called Rog Rants, and that was where I was having a moan about things like the price of food at Christmas markets, or not being allowed to film on Waverley Station, or that sort of thing. Now it became clear very, very soon that actually it was the RogVlog videos that were doing best on the channel, and Marketing Made Simple and Rog Rants didn't particularly work, and it probably confused the YouTube algorithm. It's probably meant the growth of the channel hasn't been as good as it should have been had I just focused on the travel bits. So I did take a decision about a year ago to focus entirely on the travel videos. So I deleted all the marketing videos and I deleted all the Rog Rants. So they're all Rog Vlogs now. So they're all about travel. And that means that the concept of Rog Edwards TV doesn't really work anymore. So the question I need to ask myself is, do I rename the channel? Do I call it Rog Vlog Adventures, Rog Vlog Travels, Rog Vlog Experiences, Rog Vlog Travel and Adventures? I don't know whether it would even matter. Maybe I should just leave it as Rog Edwards TV. But every video that you watch on the channel comes up with that Rog Vlog caption at the start. So maybe I should change it. Something like Rog Vlog Travels, Rog Vlog Adventures. If you think it matters, do let me know in the comments down below. If you've got any more suggestions as to what I could call it, do please let me know. And I will then put my marketing brain into action and see whether I can come up with something that might work. Maybe it would help the algorithm understand that this channel is more about travel and hotel reviews and train reviews and ferry reviews now than before. So a couple more comments here. Steve Marsh again says, like you, love harbours, though I think I like lighthouses more than yeah, I find lighthouses a bit scary. I don't think you find them that scary. Fran says, I don't really think it matters, but Roger's Adventure sounds great. Richard says, keep the name. Yeah, I'm going to dwell upon it. I honestly don't think it matters, but I thought I would ask you nonetheless. I think I need a little bit of a sip. Okay, so what I thought I would do is just a few shout outs. Now, I apologize in advance. I can't shout out to everybody who comments on the channel and everybody who watches the videos, but sometimes some people pop up in the feed more than others. So I thought I would just shout out a few names. Some of you I've already made a mention of, but there's Richard in Newcastle. Again, thank you, Richard, for all your advice. And there's also Michael from Edinburgh and beyond. He's a local YouTuber. I've actually collaborated and been on quite a few of his videos. He does more food reviews in Edinburgh. So we've been to a few restaurants in Edinburgh. Well worth checking out his channel. That's Michael from Edinburgh and beyond. He's actually over in Paris at the moment at the Paris Disney, Euro Disney. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some videos from there. There's Laura from Italy. I don't think Laura is actually on the feed, but Laura, thank you again for your support. Laura loves Edinburgh and she follows pretty much anybody who does Edinburgh videos. So it's really nice to see somebody from such a beautiful country actually loving something in the UK, which probably isn't as beautiful, if truth be told, but hey. Alan says, keep the name as it is, but up to you. We tune in for informative vlogs. I guess that's the point, isn't it? The name of the channel doesn't matter. It's the content of the videos that matters. I just keep wondering whether the algorithm doesn't like the title, and maybe the title should be more related to travel, but we shall see. We shall see. Who else have we got? We've got Alan92 again on my list. Thanks for commenting just there. Steve Marsh, I've also mentioned. Jet Tyler. Jet Tyler, I don't think is on the feed today. He's not tuned in, but Jet is also. What a great name, Jet Tyler, isn't it? I'm sure he's not really called Jet. What's Jet short for? Jethro? No, probably not. But Jet Tyler does travel videos, focuses more on flights. So a lot of his videos are about flights, but he's well worth checking out. And I also had on my list Reese's Trains, who's here as well. There's Cabot Taxi, who always comments. There's Merry Raven. Merry Raven is one of the favorite handle names that I've heard. Merry Raven, that just sounds great, doesn't it? I love it. So thank you so much, Merry Raven. So those were the shout outs for today. Thank you all for your support. So now we finally get round, and this is going to be the last 5 minutes or so, the last few questions. Now, I did have somebody right at the start of the feed. I don't know whether I can scroll all the way back up, but one person, I believe was in Prague, said they're really looking forward to me reviewing the Balmoral Hotel. As I've said, the Balmoral Hotel is one of the most expensive I'm probably not going to get round to that unless I can convince the management to give me a discount, but I shall try. You never know. You never know. But the Caledonian Hotel, we will definitely try and get in there. Lucy asks about my camera. Now, this is the DJI Pocket 3. This is my go-to camera. This is what I use for pretty much everything. If I'm going somewhere wet, if it's if it's raining or if I go near water, I tend to use the DJI Action camera, which is effectively a GoPro. It's just made by a different company. Now, this camera is absolutely remarkable. I know that Reese's Trains uses it. I know that Edinburgh and Beyond Michael uses it. It's a great camera. The quality of the image is incredible, especially the low light mode. If you watched my videos of Edinburgh, the light trail at the Botanic Gardens and the streets, the picture quality is just utterly amazing. There's one drawback about this Pocket 3 is that if you're in automatic mode, sometimes, in my opinion, it really cocks up the white balance. And I've often spotted that after I've filmed a scene, my face is really orange because it's just completely cocked up the white balance. And I then have to go into Adobe Premiere Pro and try and fix it and give my face a proper skin tone. So I tend to try and use the manual settings in the camera to try and avoid that. It's interesting, actually. You can tell quite a lot of YouTubers recently have started using the Pocket 3, and I have noticed when they've made the switch, because quite often all of a sudden they have bright orange faces, and that's because they haven't realized that the Pocket 3 is doing what it does sometimes. So if you are using a Pocket 3 and you don't want an orange face, go into the Pocket 3 settings and sort yourself out. Yeah, Reese is saying he knows of a few people who switched to the Pocket 3. Aidan says you must clock up a few miles traveling around the UK on business and making videos. Yeah, I do a lot of business travel because I have a day job. I am a marketing consultant and I speak at conferences, so I do a lot of travel, and I try to fit the videos in around that. In reality, since the COVID pandemic, quite a lot of people are just more than happy now to do Zoom meetings or Teams meetings. And even some conferences are now over. So I don't do as much travel as I used to do, but still do quite a bit. Pascal says, a question from Denise. Your most surprising, memorable, historic site this year? Crikey, that's a tough one. I guess it would just have to be York, Pascal, Denise, wouldn't it? You know, not only was that hotel, the Milner Hotel, previously the Principal Hotel, not only was that just fabulous, it's the second favourite hotel after the Glasgow one. But what have you got in New York? You've got the Clifford Tower, which is amazing. You've got the walls that you can walk around the whole perimeter of the city, the battlements. You've got York Minster, which is just incredible Gothic cathedral, and even the shambles. You know, it's like walking into a set for Harry Potter. I just think that York, even more than Edinburgh, even though I live in one of the most historical cities in the UK, I think York just edges it slightly. There's so much in York. So that would be my vote, Denise, for... It's a bit of a cop-out answer, wasn't it, really, naming an entire city rather than a particular site. Oh, here's Mrs. E. She's just popped in. She says, big thank you to everyone for your support. I'll be joining Mr. E when I'm more mobile. Mr. E and Lottie are doing a fantastic job looking after me while I recover. Happy New Year to you all. I was hoping that Lottie was going to make a surprise appearance, but she's downstairs. She's our beloved cat. She's a gigantic Maine Coon, and she's got a lot of white fur, which is a big problem because I tend to wear totally black hat, black top most of the time. And all I need to do is come within about 15 feet of Lottie and I'm immediately covered in white fur. So if you ever notice me covered in fur, that's why. It's because of Lottie, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Couple of other questions. Art B asked about body combat. Yeah, this was one of the community posts. I've also been teaching a fitness class called Body Combat for the last 20 years. And I decided before Christmas that I was going to stop doing it. I'm just getting a bit too old for it, to be honest. And it's a musical class, so it's like exercise to music. And some of the music over the last few years has just been utterly horrendous. So I took the decision to stop teaching body combat. The upside is that it does free me up with a little bit more time when I'm not teaching classes to hopefully carry on making videos. But I will still be teaching yoga, and I will still be teaching body balance, which is a similar sort of concept, but not quite as energetic. So that's it for this little live wrap up for 2024. All that remains is for me to say thank you to you all again, from me and Mrs. E. Thank you once again for getting us to and beyond 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your support. We will see you in 2025, and I hope you all have a fantastic Hogmanay, a fantastic New Year's Day, and thank you for watching. Here is another cheers, another sip of Estrella, and we will see you in 2025. Cheers. Bye.